Hello, this is Dean from Bridgeview Manufacturing, and I'd just like to talk about the features and benefits of our Bale King BR820 bale carrier. So this is an 8-bale single-row triple axle bale retriever, and it's truly built for heavy weights, rough fields, and narrow roads. We've been building the BR800 series for about 10 years now, but it has a lot more history than that. The basic design was originally developed by a colleague of ours who's a commercial hay producer. So the design goes back over 30 years, and it's logged tens of thousands of bales of real-world use and testing, and it's just a very well-proven design. The BR820 is probably one of the heaviest bale pickers you can buy, and we've got guys running them in silage applications, and they're handling it very well. So it's built to hold 8 5-foot by 6-foot round bales, and it's it's under 8 feet wide going down the road. So it's might be the machine you need in counties where width restrictions are a little more prominent. So I'll just start at the front of the machine and kind of work my way back just to talk about why we did things the way we did and hopefully give you a better understanding. So the jack, it's a 7,000-pound jack attached to the hitch, and the hitch is it's a 2-stage design. We run it about 2 feet straight back from the drawbar before we taper it out to the width of the machine. And the reason for that is just to give the tires a bit of a pocket for just to give you the maximum turning radius we possibly can. It seems like you're always trying to turn into that next bale that there's just not quite enough room to do. So maneuverability is key on these machines, and that's just one feature that improves that a little bit. As far as hydraulics go, all machines require 3 remotes. There's the loading fork, the conveyor chain, and the deck lift cylinders, although there are kits available to reduce that down to 2 remotes if need be. We run a very heavy-duty frame on these machines. The subframe going to the axles, it's 8-inch tubing with a 3-inch welded truss on it, and the bale deck itself is 7-inch tall. It's all heavy walled tubing. It's built to last. The loading fork is one thing we're also particularly proud of. We put a lot of time and effort into making it just the way it needs to be. It's a quarter-turn fork, tine on the top side there, and that's just meant to turn the bale automatically so you can hit the bale from any direction. And once you get onto it, it's a very forgiving design. You can pick the bale lengthwise, like following the baler, or crosswise, or anywhere in between, and it'll orient it to load the bale properly on the machine. The tine spacing is adjustable for different widths of bales and a little bit of operator preferences. The inner tine here has this basket on it, and we tried to keep that as low and close to the conveyor chain as possible, so it really minimizes how far the bale has to drop down onto the deck. And we really tried to keep that low to be as easy as possible on the bale that we can. On the far side we have a bumper just to, if you throw the bale up pretty quick, the bumper just stops it and keeps it on the deck, and then you're good to go. The conveyor chain itself, we do run a conveyor chain as a means to shuttle the bale backwards. We run 2082 roller chains on it on canted chain rails, so the bales are angled in just to give you a perpendicular contact between the chains and the bale, so it gives you good traction for shuttling the bale back, but it's the easiest you can possibly make it on the net, so it works very well. We run 3 bale slides, these square tubes going down the middle of the machine, just as guides. And we've gone through a lot of effort to try to minimize any sort of sharp edge that the bale might encounter on the way back. So these machines are very easy on net wrap. One of probably the main reason we run the conveyor chains as opposed to a pusher is because this machine is also a bale retriever, and that means that you can reload bales from a stack or from a row of bales and transport them a second time. And a common application would be if you roadside your bales after the first cut you can go back and quickly reload these bales at a later date to haul them back home or back to the stack yard. And that's a feature you can do with a chain conveyor because you can reverse them as opposed to a single direction pusher style machine. Just a couple other things on the fork. The rear of the tine, we curved it up just to make it act a little bit more like a ski, and it's in the case where you're a little bit misaligned to the bale and you have to back up and straighten up a little bit. If the fork is down, that ski just prevents it from digging into the ground, and it's just a little easier, but a little bit easier on your land. We also run this big triangle gusset right up into the middle between the tines, and that is there to take the force of the impact when you're picking bales on the go. It transfers that load straight down into the main frame, and it protects the fork, so it makes a very good solid system. And the fork it's lifted by a single cylinder underneath the machine. There's a mud flap in front of it just to, for the odd rock that comes off your tractor tire. And it operates off a pilot operated check valve. So what that means is that the fork it's locked up all the time until there's hydraulic pressure to lower the fork. That means your fork, if the machine is parked, the fork's not going to creep down on you. It's a safety feature. If you're going down the road, the fork, it can't come down unless there's hydraulic pressure. And you don't need to do any chains or locking pins to hold the fork up. So it's convenience and safety on that one. We run 2 large lift cylinders on the deck for unloading the bales. Lots of corner trussing and corner gussets throughout the middle of the machine, so it's very well braced. And going to our axle system, we run a triple axle torsion system. So the idea here is to give you maximum flotation for the heavy loads that these things will carry. So in delicate hayland, sometimes there's sandy hayland that really doesn't handle ruts very well. These tires and axles will distribute that load and protect your land. The triple axle also works great for irrigation pivot ruts. It'll just dance over those no problem. And in my experience, the BR820 will handle the rough field a lot better than the tractor will. So as long as you can still sit in the seat of your tractor, the BR820 is just going to be following along smooth as silk. The Torflex axles, we really like them because there's just no maintenance to them. There's nothing to grease. There's no pins or bushings to wear out. You just go. They're 8,000 pound capacity a piece. 8-bolt hubs, and they're 14L tires, so there's a lot of surface area and just a lot of flotation. The axles are adjustable as far as your position front to back. You can move them up about 6 inches forward or back, and that's just in the case that you need to tweak the tongue load on your tractor. We run standard road lights and safety chains, of course. On the tail of the machine, we run very large pontoons on the back, and that's just if you're loading or unloading on softer ground, it keeps the tail of the machine from digging in and damaging the machine or the ground. And of course, we've got our automatic stopper system, and this is, in our opinion, it's a very big feature. Loading bales with a retriever can be a little bit aggravating because the visibility to the back of the machine from the tractor is almost non-existent. Even with good mirrors, it can be pretty hard to see where you're at. Pretty common to see, flag systems or some kind of marker that pops up when the deck is full. But you still have to be paying attention to it, and there's still nothing holding the bales on the deck. Even on a steep enough hill, if you're going up without a stopper system, the bales will run, slide to the back. So you need some means of stopping those bales. This system is fully automatic. It's tied in with our deck lift cylinders. So when the deck is down, the stoppers are up. and vice versa, and it just takes all the work out of it. You just load bales until nothing fits anymore, and you know you're good to go. They're not going to fall off in the field. You're not going to lose one off the back, and most importantly, you're not going to lose one while you're going down the road. So it's a very big safety feature there as well. We pay a lot of attention to the fit and finish of our products. We're prone to using a lot of laser cut parts. Just they look really good. We do a lot of precision bending on parts just to give it a nice professional factory finish. And then we top it all off with powder coat paint. So it's a very good abrasion resistant, long lasting paint, and it'll keep your investment looking good for years. So I hope you found this informative. Again, they're a very, they're heavy duty industrial machine, and they're a lot of fun to operate. So thank you.